Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. जैसा कि यूपीएससी मेंस जीएस पेपर 1 का पेपर हो चुका है एंड दिस टाइम यूपीएससी हैज आस्क्ड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चंस, है ना. तो विद रेस्पेक्ट टू हिस्ट्री आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस ऑल द क्वेश्चंस with respect to modern India, art and culture, post independence as well as world history. So this time actually UPSC has given straightforward question. Like if you see the number of questions that they have asked, around 6 questions they have asked from history, and the questions are bit easy, straightforward, factual questions bhi puche hue hain. If you see this first question, discuss the salient features of Harappan architecture in 150 words. Now how aspirants should approach this question? First, you should focus on the keywords. Focus on keywords. Now what are the keywords that you should write in your answer? Like grid planning. So it is something which is related to Harappan architecture, that is town planning. So you can mention grid planning system, grid planning towns. Okay, then you can mention the drainage pattern. Okay, you can mention the drainage pattern as well. Then apart from this, you can mention another important structure, that is of Great Bath. Okay, so the question is bit easy, and then what you can do, you can link all these features with socio-economic life and make sure your answer should be concise, factual as well as structured. While writing introduction, the basic thing, so introduction, while writing this, so you can just easily mention Harappan architecture, which showcase the remarkable urban planning as well as civil engineering method. Then cities like Harappa as well as Mohenjo-daro, they have followed a grid pattern with these streets intersecting at right angles and reflecting the planned layouts, all these things. Then to get an extra edge in your examination, you can also mention some geometrical diagrams like Harappan architecture. When you talk about town planning system, so generally towns were divided into two parts, that is citadel and lower town, है ना. Then you can make some geographic or you can say geometrical diagram. आप इसमें geometrical diagrams बना सकते हो. Like you can draw the lower town like this. A small diagram can fetch you good marks. Lower town like this. Then you can mention instances of single, double, then triple story houses. Then you can mention roads used to cut each other at 90-degree angle. Then you can mention about drainage pattern, that is also required. Then these towns were divided into mini sectors. So all these things you can mention easily. Then with respect to drainage system, you can just draw a simple diagram like this. Like this, you can draw a simple diagram that stones were covered with brick or slabs. Then inside the drainage, these gypsum coating was there. Now why gypsum coating was there? Because gypsum is helpful in filtering the waste and recharging the ground with water. So all these things you can mention, a unique feature. So this is the unique feature, that they were having a kind of sophisticated drainage system with covered drains and as well as soak pits. Then you can mention the settlements had clear division between the citadel as well as lower town. So class system was there. Then major structure, then you can mention, you can also make the diagram of upper town like this. It was on upraised platform. Then you can make some of the buildings, like this was the administrative setup. This is great granary. Then this is Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro. Stairs were there in north to south direction and changing rooms in west and east direction. So like this. So these diagrams will fetch you good marks as well as good presentation is required in your mains examination, है ना. So surplus storage, dockyard, like at Lothal, है ना, dockyard was there. You can say multi-roomed houses with courtyards, private wells, bathrooms, and notably there were no grand palaces or temples, which actually reflects an egalitarian and possibly the mercantilist or theocratic society, है ना. So these things you can mention. So architectural emphasis was on functionality, sanitation. Then you can mention that trade facilitation rather than the monumentalism. So these things you can mention easily in this question. So this is a very simple question, straightforward answer आप इसमें लिख सकते हैं. Now second question which is asked in UPSC with respect to history, है ना, this is something which is related to medieval India culture, and the question is very simple. Examine the main aspects of Akbar's religious syncretism. Now first of all, the directive word here is, directive word क्या है? Examine. This is the directive word, examine. Examine means you have to critical investigate. So here you should do critical investigation. Critical investigation in this question. The main aspect of Akbar religious syncretism. That means this question requires you to describe, analyze and assess the significance, not merely list the facts. So you must highlight the aspects and evaluate their impact or as well as limitations if it is there, है ना. Now main aspect क्या है? You have to main aspect means you should focus on core feature. Your focus should be on core features of religious syncretism. Core features like Akbar religious syncretism, his approach to fusing elements of different religions for political stability as well as cultural harmony. Then you can mention the theme as well as scope, that this is not, this is not only related to the political thing, this is about something religious policy, not his administration, military or economy. So then limit to the policies, institutions, ideas as well as practices that reflect the system. So all these things you can mention easily. Then you can give the example, various example, like in 1575 Akbar created Ibadat Khana in Fatehpur Sikri, that is house of religious discussion. Then you can mention Akbar's policy Sulh Kul. Sulh Kul means universal peace, and then based on that Akbar formulated this Deen Ilahi or Tawheed Ilahi, है ना. So what are the dimensions to cover? You can cover the policy measures, like you can cover the policy measures in this question. Now what are the policy measures that you can cover here? Policy measures like abolition of jizya, है ना, abolition of pilgrim tax, marriage alliances, inclusion of non-Muslims. Then you can also mention the institutions. What are the institutions? As well as initiatives like translation of text, celebration of Hindu festivals. Then philosophical understanding आप mention कर सकते हैं, philosophical understanding. Now philosophical understanding like Sulh Kul, all these things you can mention. Clear? So you can just give the example that this reflects actually composite culture. So this was actually a debate between composite culture versus orthodox backlash, है ना. So you can easily introduce your answer, introduction. You can write within 30 to 40 words Akbar's vision of unifying a diverse empire. Then you can easily write body of the answer, 4 to 5 major aspects up with examples you can write. Then conclusion, and a brief assessment you can mention his legacy, his limitations as well as historical significance. Clear? Now what is the expected thing in your answer? You should have used keywords like Sulehkul Dine Hilahi, maintain the chronological as well as thematic flow, and avoid over explaining each aspect. समझ में आ रहा है? Stick to analytical approach, है ना? So that is why we always say understand the demand of the question. Question is not tough, it is very simple, so easily you can write this question. Okay, so this should be the approach for this kind of question. Okay, now apart from this, अब अगर हम देखें और भी चीजें, so the question is also there with respect to this Chandela architecture. Third question, that the sculptors filled Chandela art form with resilient vigor and breadth of life. Elucidate. Question is asking elucidate. तो पहले आपको क्या करना है? फर्स्ट यू हैव टू राइट इंट्रोडक्शन, ब्रीफली स्टेट सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ चंडेला. चंडेला art is also called as Khajuraho school of architecture. As we know that Nagara style is divided into 3 sub schools, that is Orissa school, Khajuraho, and then Solanki. So this time UPSC has asked about Khajuraho. Khajuraho is promoted by Chandela Rajputs. Okay, it is promoted by Chandela Rajputs. Then in body of the answer you can mention the, or you can explain the resilient vigor and breadth of life. Okay, and for this you can mention some of the examples like Khajuraho temples के बारे में mention कर दो. Thematic richness, like themes were divine, secular, erotic, daily life, all these things were shown. So basically how to write an introduction? Like Chandela art form flourishing under the Chandela dynasty from around 9 to 13th century AD in Bundelkhand region, है ना? And it is actually epitomized by the Khajuraho group of monuments today. These monuments are part of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So these temples actually reflect the Nagara style of architecture with rich sculptural establishment. And जो sculptors हैं, they actually infused them with resilient and vigor through dynamic, like you will see lifelike carvings which is marked by intricate detailing, rhythmic postures are there. So these things you can mention, है ना? So then you can also mention in the body of the answer religious and spiritual motifs. In body of the answer, how will you write? You can write down in points also. Like diverse themes were there, diverse themes, like how diverse themes are there. For example, you can mention religious and spiritual motifs. Religious and spiritual motifs, like deities, apsaras are shown, celestial beings, है ना, सुर, सुंदरीज, all these things are shown. Then you can mention secular and erotic sculptures, another theme, secular and erotic sculpture, secular and erotic sculpture, like representing fertility, kama and tantric traditions. These things you can mention in secular and erotic sculptures. Then scene of daily lives are also shown. Scene of daily life, these are also shown, like musician, dancers, warrior, household activities, animals, and also social gatherings. All these things are shown. So basically these sculptures reflected the Chandela philosophy of life as an integration of dharma, arth, काम and moksha. This is how you can correlate your answer with Purusharth, and celebrating both the sacred as well as sensual. So their resilience lies in their ability to withstand time as well as convey a vibrant cultural ethos even today. So these things you can mention easily in your conclusion. So the question is not tough, we have already discussed in class, है ना, हमने ऑलरेडी ये सारी चीजें क्लास में डिस्कस की हुई हैं. सो नो क्वेश्चंस आर टफ. This time UPSC has asked straightforward question. Now next question is something which is related to caste reform movement in your modern India. Caste reform movement from Maharashtra. So the question is related to Mahatma Jyoti Rao Phule's writing and efforts of social reform touched issues of almost all subaltern classes. Subaltern means like Dalit, depressed classes, women's. Clear? So how you should approach this question? First, you should write introduction and briefly introduce Jyotiba or Jyoti Rao Phule. Clear? So in introduction, what can you write? In this, you can briefly introduce Jyoti Rao Phule, his ideology, okay, his ideology as well as his timeline. You can mention period. Then in body of the answer, what you can mention? In this portion, you can highlight his writings as well as reform activities. His writings and reform activities, like he has written a book Gulamgiri, hai na? These things you can mention. Then you can, now the question is of 250 words. Now as you can see here, efforts of social reform touched almost all subaltern classes. That means you have to show that how he addressed the concerns of various subaltern classes. How he addressed the concerns of various subaltern classes. This you can show, like lower caste, women, peasants, Dalit workers, etc. Then you can use specific words like Gulamgiri, institutions like Satya Shodhak Samaj, ये सारी चीजें mention करिए. And then you can conclude your answers. है ना? You can summarize overall his legacy in empowering the marginalized groups and influence on later movement which was taken by the leaders like Ambedkar. है ना? So Jyotiba Rao Phule, he is a pioneer social reformer of 19th century and he emerged as a voice for the oppressed and marginalized sections of society during the colonial rule. And that is why his writings as well as reformist zeal aim to dismantle the caste hierarchy, gender discrimination as well as socio-economic oppression. Then you can mention his work example like Gulamgiri of 1873. Gulamgiri जो इन्होंने लिखा कब 1873, तो ये सारी चीजें आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं इसमें, which explores the exploitative nature of Brahminical dominance over the Shudras as well as Ati Shudras, है ना? So he portrayed them as the historical slavery. Then you can mention about Satya Shodhak Samaj, which he has created, that how they promoted education for lower caste, है ना, and advocated social equality. Then you can mention about his wife Savitri Bai Phule, that they established the first girls school in Pune. है ना? They worked for widow remarriage and campaign against the child marriage as well as female infanticide. So these things you can mention with facts. So Phule's actually reforms, his reforms cut across the multiple subaltern identities like Dalit, Shudras, women, peasants as well as laborers. And that is why these things made him one of the first Indian, or you can say first modern thinkers to conceptualize the concept of social justice in India. Clear? So these things you can mention. Okay. तो ये आप आसानी से क्या कर सकते हैं, इसको लिख सकते हैं. Clear? Now, next question. Now this time they ask one question from post independence. That is, trace India's consolidation process during early phase of independence in terms of polity, economy, education as well as international relations. So during the time period of independence in 1947, so this is something which is related to consolidation and reorganization of India, not only in terms of polity, in terms of economy as well as foreign policy also. So during the period of independence 1947, India faced various tasks and the most important task was nation building amidst partition, poverty and illiteracy. तो आप पॉलिटी में क्या लिख सकते हैं? लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉलिटी, सो हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू मेंशन अबाउट पॉलिटी हियर? लाइक in this you can mention integration of around 560 princely states by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and VP Menon through diplomacy as well as force. When you say force, then you can give the example of Hyderabad 1948, Junagadh 1947, Kashmir instrument of accession, all these things. Then Constituent Assembly, in this you can mention about Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution of India, है ना, 26 November 1949 and enforcement on 26 January 1950, which laid the foundation for parliamentary democracy, fundamental rights, federalism, all these things. Then early elections you can mention. Early elections completed the consolidated democratic ethos. Okay, so these things you can mention. Then what you can write with respect to economy, this is about polity. Now अब इकोनॉमी के लिए आप क्या लिख सकते हैं? इंडिया अडॉप्टेड मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी मॉडल which is guided by industrial policy resolution of 1948, 1956. Then you can mention about planning commission. Of 1950, first 5-year plan focused on agriculture, and a second 5-year plan on industry, and first 5-year plan apart from agriculture also focused on community development, infrastructure, etc. Then you can mention about land reform angle, land reforms, ये सारी चीजें आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं. Then education. Now with respect to education, what are the things you can mention? Education Commission, Radhakrishnan Commission was formed. Radhakrishnan Commission was formed 1948 to 49, which talked about reform in higher education. It talked about reform in higher education. ये चीजें आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं. Then University Grant Commission, UGC, was established in 1953. You can mention. Then you can give emphasis on IITs, IIMs, and expansion of primary schooling, which laid the intellectual base for nation building. Then with respect to international relations, as our first Prime Minister is the chief architect of India's foreign policy, and this era was Cold War era. So India pursued non-alignment approach, non-alignment movement. Okay, then you can mention with respect to China, Panchsheel in 1954, Hindi Chini bye bye, है ना. Then India mediated in Korean War. India also supported anti-colonial movements in Asia, Africa, while maintaining cordial ties with both US as well as USSR. So these are things, these are very simple, which you can give in your answer. So overall you can say that these early measures, so then you can conclude that how these early measures stabilized a diverse nation, set the democratic precedents, initiated the planned developments, and projected India as a responsible voice in the world affairs. And that has actually laid down the bedrock for future growth of India. Okay. Now, last question with respect to history. This is something, so there is one question for post-independence, one question from world history. The French Revolution has enduring relevance to contemporary world. Explain. So here directive keyword is explain. This is directive keyword, explain. Explain means you have to clarify, bring out the causes, reasons, and then you have to show how and why something is relevant. That means you are not just describing the French Revolution here. You have to describe French Revolution and then you have to connect its ideals as well as impact in today's world. French Revolution का आज के वर्ल्ड में क्या impact है. So what should be the core theme of your answer? What should be the core theme? First, you have to mention French Revolution of 1789. French Revolution of 1789. What are the key principles? Liberty. Key principles क्या है? Liberty, equality, fraternity, है ना? Secularism, nationalism, people's sovereignty. Then you have to give the relevance of these principles today. Now, what are the relevance? How these principles or outcomes still continues or still influence the current political, social, economic as well as global affairs. Then you need to cover the dimensions also. Now, what are the dimensions you need to cover? You have to cover political, social, economic, all these dimensions. So, what are the dimensions you should cover in this answer? You can cover political, economic, social. Now, what can be the political dimensions? Democracy, constitutionalism, secularism, citizen rights, all these things. Liberty, equality, fraternity, democracy, nationalism, constitutionalism, etc. All these things you can mention. Then social and economic. Now, what are the economic things that you can mention? Progressive taxation. Concept of progressive taxation. Okay. Then you can mention about property reforms. Property reforms. Abolition of privileges. Abolition of feudalism. Women and minority rights. Women and minority rights you can mention. And this you can also take in social. Then anti-feudal measures, welfare system. ये सारी चीजें आप मेंशन कर सकते हो इकोनॉमिक में. Then social, in social you can talk about equality, abolition of privileges of feudal class. Okay. Then you can talk about liberties of minority, all these things. So these dimensions you can cover. Then you can also give the global impact. अब global impact क्या हुआ? Global impact will be because during this time period most of the world was under the control of colonial masters. So anti-colonial movements were started. Anti-colonial movements started. Okay, universal human rights, modern revolution, social justice movement, all these things. Okay, then how you are going to link this revolution principles to contemporary world events? So how you are going to link? Then you can link it to contemporary events. Now, what are the contemporary events which looks like or which got influence from French Revolution? Like Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948 in United Nations. Then you can give the recent examples. Arab Spring in 2011. Arab Spring of 2011. Then एक प्रोपेगेंडा शुरू हुआ था, ब्लैक लाइव्स मैटर. ऑल दीज एग्जांपल्स यू कैन मेंशन. ब्लैक लाइव्स मैटर, ये बहुत बड़ा प्रोपेगेंडा शुरू हुआ था, है ना? एक मूवमेंट शुरू हुआ था, ब्लैक लाइव्स मैटर. देन टुडे यू कैन गिव द एग्जांपल ऑफ क्लाइमेट जस्टिस. क्लाइमेट जस्टिस मूवमेंट. क्लियर? सेक्युलरिज्म डिबेट्स इन फ्रांस एंड इंडिया. सेक्युलरिज्म debates in France and India. All these things. Clear? So I would request all of you, avoid being generic like it brought democracy and always show how it still matter today. No need to write all these things. Write each and everything with respect to the present case study. है ना? Because UPSC wants to test your awareness, है ना, कि आप अवेयर रहते हो कि नहीं. That is why you can mention Black Lives Matter, climate justice, social, then secularism debates in France as well as India. So total 6 questions were there in mains examination this year. So this is how you can attempt these questions. Okay, questions are simple, straightforward this time, and hoping for the best and all the best to those students who appeared in mains examination this year. Thank you so much.